Now, our brains are really marvelous things, but they often, in doing their job, which is to make our lives easier, they want to take the job over for us. Okay? So your brain is trying to learn how to do this correctly. Okay? But it's kind of not what we want. We don't want our brains to do this job for us. We want to transcend our mental state to a state of higher consciousness, which doesn't rely on the brain finding answers in the past or in the future, or the imagined future. So, for instance, you may have experienced something like this. I'm going to ask Roman to show me where the front door is. I'm looking for the front door. Okay? Now, nothing happened that looked like Aikido, because as soon as he started to show me the front door, which he did very well, I started thinking about the fact that he was doing this and what was happening to me, and how am I supposed to feel about this? Okay, I've lost my desperate need. Okay? Here's what happens when I retain my desperate need, even though he's fulfilling it. I gotta find the door. Can you please show me where the door is? Okay? That's a continuous flow of spirit energy into his center. Okay? So he didn't know what was going to happen. In fact, he doesn't know what's going to happen when I do this. I've got to find the front door.
Oh, no.
Yes, please. Can you show me where the front door is? So you may recognize that as some kind of technique, right? But he doesn't know what he did. I can't name it. Because all he did was answer my need. And all I did was keep my need up. So if I have spear energy, we start to see the path of the Aikido when it joins, when the combination of spear energy and love happen. And so this is, I think, O-sensei's great discovery, that I'm freaking out right now. I can't stand being in here. I've got to get some fresh air. Can you bring me to the front door? I don't understand. Okay, so if anybody thinks I just fell down for him, come on up and I'll show you what I did. Okay? We've been working together for a few months now, well, a few years now, okay, off and on. And he's got a pretty good grasp of what I'm doing. And I can send a pretty good thing into his system now. We start with really simple things, but now I can do things like this, get him halfway to Ikkyo. And you can see that if he tries to struggle, I've got a lot of power over him. Okay? It's all structural power. I'm very well balanced. I've got my energy into his center. You know, it's really hard to get out of this kind of an Ikkyo. And his body wants to resist it, which actually gives me power. But when he is able to expand into that with this beneficent flow, no, that's not going to do it. See, I'm not going to let him get away with stuff like that, because it doesn't do him any good, and it doesn't do me any good if I let him fake us out, or if I let him believe that he actually was able to embody this. I gotta find a way out. Everybody who's been in Kodagaishi knows the feeling, and how we want to resist it or get away from it and then do something. But the flow of energy through this actually shows this to be the attack that it really is. Okay? Anybody recognize this? Oh, this is one of those nice, loving protection things we do. I'm only doing this for your own good, Roman. Right? And if you don't believe that Roman knows what an Ikkyo feels like, okay, you are a little on my wrist and on my center, which makes it there, that's better. Okay, when he gets control of my center, it's better than, it's the exercise we want, because I can feel where his energies coming from. This is something we don't ordinarily let ourselves get into, so I'm going to keep him honest with this and tell him you're doing that to my wrist, not to my center. The reason I'm going to make that distinction is I don't want you to try this at home with people who believe that these wrist locks are all about breaking people's wrists. Okay, they can break your wrist, okay, and it's going to be very tempting to just do that. Okay, because the limbic system charge on this pain is, something I don't want to subject anyone to. But what I'm telling you is, you don't have my center. Okay, the problem with doing this in Aikido, when you don't have someone's center, is they can do a lot of things while avoiding the pain, or just not dealing with the pain. This is why Nikyo like this won't work with someone on PCP. But if I control the center, it doesn't even hurt. That doesn't hurt, right? It doesn't hurt, because what I'm doing is I'm sending energy right to his center. But it's a very powerful, yes. Yeah, but you gotta go to the center. Okay, so instead of fighting it here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this there. Okay, good. So he's got this flow now into my center, and I'm allowing, through my experience of this, to connect back to him and resist it, which gives him the power. But you see his flow from his center is that way. And through expanding the field through that, it opens the door for that to go right back to his center in a way that he doesn't feel like he's ever lost control. And this is what we want to have with our partner who attacks us. This is what we want with a person on the street who comes and attacks, because we don't want them to ever feel themselves brought down. We want them to feel that we're in this with them, that they're not going to be injured. This is how we make the world one family, with a loving protection of our resources. So this is what I do with someone really on the street. He knows how to roll. I don't have to worry about him so much. I can let him take his roll. But he'll know if I start to throw him. He'll know now if I start to withdraw in order to do my technique, and he'll stop me. He'll know if I put up a shield and try to do anything. And he'll also know how to join them. Okay? So this is what we're working toward. We're working toward changing the conversation between us and this person who's attacking us. We don't want it to be, no, you can't have the connection through me. Oh, you want some connection? I'll give you some connection. Or, I have nothing for you. I don't know why you're asking me to, I've got an unlimited supply of what you're looking for. An unlimited supply.